My phone, I got options. And I don't wanna tell you to drop it. But I don't wanna play your fair. Yeah. Something that makes me look at you too often.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your very first time watching a video of mine. I do want to thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you can tell by the title of this video, I got some really good news today. I know I kind of went MIA. I think the last video was about 3 months ago, but hopefully this video makes up for that and just, gives a little bit of insight on why I was gone for so long. So yeah. I'm like, where do I begin? Okay. So I literally just had to really take a step back and begin to look at another avenue when it comes to my career. If you don't know, I am also an esthetician. I completed the aesthetics program January of 2023. Completed the program then. And at that moment, I really did think that like aesthetics was my end all be all. Like I really enjoy, giving facials and, just providing that relaxation to people. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to do it again. It's something now that I have under my belt. But I wasn't fulfilled. Now, I did begin working in the medical field 2017, I believe. I started working in the medical field. I started off as an administrative assistant for an audiologist, optometrist, and podiatrist. Real entry level. And that was basically the role that put in my brain that I wanted to help people on a deeper level. Because with that particular job, I was an administrative assistant. And again, I was assisting those doctors. There's about 13 of those doctors. And they were assisting elderly patients. So they would go to living facilities and provide the services, audiology, optometry, and podiatry. They would provide those services, and I would just assist, with the background in terms of handling insurance, communicating with the families, and just educating them on, the process that was going to take place, or the appointment that was going to take place, and then any aftercare instructions. So that kind of, gave me a good glimpse into, the medical field. And then from there, I worked in insurance, which I quickly learned I don't enjoy insurance. It's very heartbreaking. There were a lot of times where my back was against the wall, and it's like my supervisor's like, well, this is insurance, and that doesn't cut it for me. Like, not to go too in depth, but my I don't even know, oh my God, the gesture, but I guess what killed it for me was I had a I had a customer give a call, and he basically was explaining to me that out of nowhere, his family's insurance coverage was canceled, and there was no notification. Like, he didn't know why, and they have a 5-year-old daughter who happened to be a diabetic, and they were unable to get her medication. And the company that I worked for was just like, well, all we can do is this, and all we can, and I'm like, it was just mind-boggling that we're dealing with a 5-year-old child, a person in general, but this is a 5-year-old child who happens to be diabetic and needs her medication, and her parents can't afford to just go and buy the insulin. And basically the answers that I was being given was, we'll tell them to go to the emergency room. And it's like, yeah, I hear that, but remember the initial cause of this? Their insurance got canceled for some odd reason with no explanation. So now they're going to have an emergency room bill that they're probably gonna have to pay out of pocket for. Like, it was just, that was it for me. The fact that insurance was just not wanting to help and go above and beyond like I was wanting to. I just didn't have the resources that I needed to, assist them when getting it reinstated and getting the insulin for the little girl, another confirmation that my calling was higher than where I was at. Now I work in neurosurgery, and I get to see the nurses and neurosurgeons, not necessarily in action, like in the OR, but the, assisting and just hearing different diagnosis and seeing different people, and just really giving me more fulfillment. And that's just me watching them in action. It did get brought to my attention by a coworker of mine. She just came to me one time and was like, "Hey, Monica, have you thought about being a nurse?" And I was like, It's kind of like in the back of my head, I like, it became a thought, but it wasn't something that I really was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And, let's get to applying. That wasn't, where I was at. Now I'm like, you know what? Let me look into it. Yeah. So they have tuition reimbursement, for specific programs, obviously pertaining to the medical field. So I did that research, and they paid like $21,000, something around there, towards it. So I'm like, okay, keep doing some more research. I'm looking at the different schools, and I finally made my selection on a school. So let's see here, September the 18th. So September the 18th, I finally decide to apply. I fill out the application, and then I end up getting an email stating that I needed to do a phone screening. So scheduled the phone screening same day. The gentleman, which ended up being my admissions advisor, admissions rep. I think he's an admissions rep. They might be the same thing. I apologize. I can't think of the title, but he's a part of admissions. He ends up giving me a call, and basically just it's a screening. So just getting a feel for like, okay, well, what interests you, in the RN BSN program, just those type of questions to really get a feel for the type of person that I am. And, if this is something that I would, fit into, like if this is really, something for me. So after about 10 minutes of a conversation, he lets me know that I advanced to the next step, which now would be a virtual interview. My virtual interview was September the 23rd. So September the 23rd, excuse me. We had the virtual interview, again, similar to an interview when you go for, any other job. Just asking me, what has my background been prior to applying? Did I have any idea on like what type of nurse I wanted to be? Also went into like my support system, my study habits. We also went over the tuition and expenses. He stated they just like to give students, a little bit of knowledge when it comes to that, because some people are not totally aware of how much nursing school really costs. Like, this is really a costly program. This is a very expensive decision. For me, in the state of Illinois, Chicago specifically, because there's 3 locations that are in Illinois, I believe. And I've seen one of the other locations' tuition is different. So for me specifically, my tuition total cost is $92,000. So, they really want to make sure, like, this is what it's going to cost. Are you sure you want to do this? Like, you positive? Like, this is some money right here. Like, are you sure? So we went over tuition and expenses, and he just gave me, just some more insight on the program in itself, what the school has to offer, the resources and everything. So once the interview was conducted, he paused for like a minute or two, and then let me know that he wanted to advance me to the next step. So the next step now is me creating logins so that I can take the HESI, the admissions HESI exam. He was explaining to me that you get 2 attempts to take the HESI. That's it, just 2. So you can take it just the one time, and if you're satisfied with your score, we can just go from there. If you're not satisfied, you can take it again. So the HESI consists of anatomy, physiology, biology, comprehension, and vocabulary. Now, I wasn't really too concerned about the vocabulary comprehension. I'm like, I'm good there. I always score pretty high in those areas. Anatomy and physiology, and biology, I'm like so. I was just in aesthetics, which is also, anatomy and physiology, but it's a different, it's a different level. Like as aesthetic, excuse me, aesthetics and nursing, like those are two different, beasts. Anatomy and physiology is just scary, in general. But, I was just like, okay, I feel like I should do fine, since I was just in school and I just had to take, exams with, that consists of anatomy and physiology. So I'm like, okay. Then he lets me know, that I need to schedule the test within 5 days of applying. I'm like, 5 days? Like, I can get like 2 weeks to study. So he's like, yeah, so unfortunately, we do want you to take it within 5 days of applying. He's like, again, this is to measure what you know. And then, in the event you need to take it again, they can see, okay, with the studying that they did, this is how they improved. So with me, I did both attempts. I took the admissions HESI exam for the first time, September the 28th. When I took it on the 28th, I got a 62%. He stated that what they want students to go for or to obtain is a 73%. So first time, I got a 62%. Obviously, I'm not happy. I wasn't extremely disappointed, but I was just like, dang, I wanted to score higher. Then I had to take into account that, the questions that they're asking me pertaining to anatomy, physiology, even the vocabulary and comprehension, this is pertaining to nursing. Like, Monica, you're not a nurse. Hold on. You're not a nurse yet. So with you scoring a 62% on your first attempt at the HESI admissions, that's actually not too bad. Like, this was my mindset like a day after, not the same day. The day after, I had to really think about it and stop kicking myself. So I let the admissions representative know that I wanted to retake it. I wanted to take some time to study. Now, what I liked also is once I took the test for the first time, they create study guides based off of the questions that you got wrong. So now I have a study guide to go off of. So I studied, and then I took the test again November the 2nd. On November the 2nd, I scored a 65%. Still wasn't too happy. I had conversations with my friends, and they're like, Monica, you went up 3%. Like, that's good. And I'm like, but I feel like I did a lot of studying to only go up 3%. Like, what do you mean? So, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I had a little bit of doubt because now I'm like, damn, like, am I going to get accepted? Like, I was really, like, down. So, I ended up, giving a call to the admissions rep, and we had the conversation about my scores, and he was just like, Monica, this is really good. Like, you studied, and, we see that you increased, I see it by 3%. That's really good. Da, da, da. And I'm just like, this man is really speaking like highly of this 3% increase. Like, is you cool? Like, you told me we want to get 73. And then I had to really think about it again. I'm like, well, Monica, 62 is not that far from 73. Like, you're close. So he just let me know that they were going to, they take those scores, place it in my file. He then let me know that all my transcripts have been received. I had to drop off high school transcripts. I had to request transcripts, from different schools that I attended previously. He's like, we got everything. So now it's time to submit all your documentation. Let me back up. So along with the application, the HESI exam, my transcripts, I also had to write a personal statement. They call it a passion statement, but it's basically a personal statement like you would do, to any other college, any other university. So I had to write a personal statement as well. So he's letting me know, he's like, hey, Monica, we have everything. We're ready to submit to the admissions committee. I was so nervous. So nervous. He's like, don't be nervous. You got this. We're going to submit it over to the admissions committee. This was, let's see, November 7th. We submitted to the admissions committee, and he told me that I should have a decision by the following week. Doesn't tell me what day. So of course, from November 7th to finding out, I'm shitting bricks because where's my phone call? Where's my email? What's going on? So the rest of November 7th, November 8th, the 9th, the 10th, I'm just like, bruh. Now the 10th is Sunday. I do go to church. I do believe in God. A lot of times I do watch church online. This particular Sunday, I was like, I need to get in the church. I need to be inside of Pastor Hannah's church, like inside. So I get myself up, I go to church. Typically I look for my own seat. Like when I walk in, I look for my own seat on like where I want to sit. And it just so happened there were two ladies in front of me and the usher was talking to them. And then as I was looking for my seat, she asked me how many people. And I'm like, oh, just one. So she's looking. And then she's like, I found you a seat. And I was like, okay, went with it. So she, pointed out my seat. I sat down. There was a lady that was to the left of me, a lady to the right of me. And there was an older lady in front of me. The church is full, but these are just like the people that I spotted. And there was a younger girl that was sitting adjacent from me. So church is going, pastor says a couple things and I break down crying. I'm just praying. I'm anxious. So fast forward, he gets to the point where he's like, we do a lot of touch your neighbor, hold their hand, say a prayer for them, encourage them. So it got to a point where I was already a little bit teary-eyed, just in praying. And I know what I'm trying to accomplish. I know the things that I've overcome. So I have, a little bit of tears. It got to a point where he asked us to hold hands. And I realized that the older lady that was standing in front of me, she really looked at me. And when she began to pray, her prayer felt personal, even though she didn't know me. Same with the lady that was to my right, another older lady that was to my right. She kept on, tapping me. And then her prayer, I didn't hear her prayer, just like I didn't hear the other ladies, but their prayers felt so personal. And they were just, rubbing my shoulders and just letting me know, it's going to be okay. You're going to come out on top. Like, these ladies don't even know me. I didn't even, express what my, anxiety is about, what, my frustrations. I haven't said anything, but their prayers felt really, really personal. Monday rolls around, I go to work, still nothing, right? So I'm like, okay, well, he said this week, he didn't say, what specific day. So now here we are, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, November the 12th. Let me make sure today's Tuesday. Okay. I'm like, I'm over here confident. Tuesday the 12th. And it's like, girl, it's Tuesday the 15th. But yeah, so Tuesday the 12th, I end up getting an email. I was on lunch and I was coming back into the office and something just told me to check my email. So I check my email and I end up seeing an email. The title is Your Application Decision Letter. When I tell y'all, my stomach dropped to my ass, dropped. I started speed walking. I'm trying to get back to my desk. Number one, I had to clock in because I was almost out of time. So I'm like speed walking. I walked past all my coworkers and they're like, Monica, are you okay? Like, one of my coworkers was like, girl, I thought something happened to your son and that's why you're walking so fast. Like, you just had this look on your face like something happened. Get back to my desk. I'm trying to log into my computer. I keep putting my password in wrong. I'm like, girl, breathe. So I get the type in. Okay, I'm in the computer. I clock in. Lock my computer back, go right to the back, open the letter up. And at first I'm seeing attached, you'll find your application decision letter for your review. You can also download a copy of this letter by logging in to the portal. So at first I'm sitting there, I'm like trying to log into the portal. I'm like, where's this letter? Where is it? I'm looking for it. Then something told me again, Monica, relax. So I just took a deep breath, kept scrolling, and my decision letter was at the bottom of the email. So I didn't even have to log in, but I was so like, just anxious, I wanted to know the decision. So I opened it up, scroll to the bottom, and the first thing that I see is, Dear Monica, congratulations. It is my pleasure to inform you that blank University Admissions Committee has reviewed your application and has determined that you are academically eligible for our Bachelor's of Science in Nursing for the January 2025 session. Y'all, I lost it. I cried. I cried because this is not just for me. This is for my son. This is for my family. This is for my future patients to come. This is like for the world. Like, this is so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger than a paycheck. Like, I even went and I was like talking to the nurses at my job, prior to getting my acceptance, prior to applying, and just, picking their brains on different things. And they're like, no, Monica, you really would make such a good nurse. Like, we hear you, on the phone with the patients. I'm a referral coordinator and I work the front desk as well. And they're like, we hear you talking to the patients and like, you're extremely passionate, you fight for, the patients, and, nursing this is going to be great for you. Like, I really do think that you, should go forth and, become a registered nurse. So of course, when I got the decision, I went right into the nurses, and I was just like, I looked at one of them and she's like, what happened? And I was like, I got accepted. And she literally just jumped up and she just hugged me and she's like, Monica, you got this. Like, the journey's not going to be easy. She's like, but you got this. She's like, I haven't known you long, but I see it in you. Like, you're a strong individual. You got this. Another nurse walks in and I'm already like full blown tears. And she's like, trying to mind her business or whatever. But I can tell she wants to know, like, what's wrong. So I tell her, I'm like, yeah, I got accepted into the nursing program. And she's like, oh my God. She jumps up and she gives me a hug. And then one of the medical assistants that I'm really close with, she walks in and she's like, are you okay? Because she was the one that I walked past like really fast. And I had like this, she said I had this look in my eye that was just like, something happened, but she didn't know what. And then she just like takes a second and she's like, you got accepted. And I just started bawling again. So I'm very happy. I'm very excited. Everybody's happy for me. I told the young ladies that I work with in the front as well. Everybody's so excited for me. They're like, this is great. Like, we definitely know that you're going to be extremely successful. And then just letting me know too that it's going to be difficult. Like, there are going to be times where I want to pull my freaking hair out. There are going to be sleepless nights. There are going to be, there are going to be things that I don't get. And they're like, don't be hard on yourself. Like, we know how you are. Take your time, ask questions. They're like, there's going to be a lot of studying, individually, collectively. And prior to me even getting accepted, I already started doing my own research. Like, there's certain nurses that I watch on TikTok. And then I was just, gaining more information on like how I can study and what can make it easier. And there are a lot of nursing resources that are out there. One of the programs that I signed up for, his YouTube channel is called Simple Nursing, and I watched the video on YouTube, and then he was basically just saying like he has a website where, you know, there's even more videos and study guides and everything. So I created an account on there as well, and I started studying last night. They were telling us like certain things that you want to know prior to starting, or certain things that would help you to know, can't get my words together, prior to starting nursing school. And one of them was lab values. So I immediately typed in lab values and I started watching one of those videos, just because I want to have that one up. Again, I know that I'm not going to know everything, but I'd rather go in knowing a smidgy bit than, you know, being on my first day and being like, what? I know I'll have at least an idea. I'm not going to say like I know, because I still don't know, like, you know, all that stuff. But I'll have an idea. At least it'll sound familiar to me. So I've rambled long enough. This is my video letting y'all know that I've got accepted into the nursing program. Again, the program is RN BSN Accelerated. It's 3 years long. Pray for me. This is going to be an interesting journey. I'm so happy. I'm definitely going to take you guys along. Hopefully this explains, you know, me going MIA and why I haven't put out any content in the last 2 to 3 months, I believe. I do hope that you all join me on this journey. It is going to be an interesting one. If you're not already subscribed, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate all the support. Buckle up. Really, me buckle up, but y'all buckle up too, because y'all are coming on this journey with me. So again, I thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you did enjoy it, I ask that you give this video a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe to the channel, and if you have any recommendations, feel free to leave them in the comments. And yeah, thank you.